Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Aging and Spirituality podcast. I'm Chris Jensen.
And Kathy Taylor.
We hope you're all doing well. And today we're going to talk about a subject that people don't like to talk about much, but it's very important. The National Institute of Health says it's a big problem, and that's overcoming loneliness as we age.
Yeah.
Yeah. People over 60 are especially vulnerable to loneliness and social isolation because when this happens, when we have loneliness, it has a serious impact on our health. And there are ways to overcome loneliness, even if you live alone or you find it hard to get out. And in this podcast, we're going to give you 6 things you can do to help you let go of loneliness. And we sure hope it helps. But if it doesn't, we want you to let us know because we'll come up with some more. Hundreds of thousands of people over 60 are lonely and cut off from society. It's just a fact. And people can become socially isolated for so many reasons. One, they're getting older, but maybe they're no longer the hub of their family. Maybe they leave the workplace. Maybe they've been in a job for a long time and now they've left. Deaths of spouses or friends, or a disability or an illness. There's so many reasons why that happens. And sometimes it's none of those. It's nothing. It's just a feeling inside. Whatever the cause, it's shockingly easy to feel that you're left alone and vulnerable. And that can lead to depression and a serious decline in your physical health and well-being. So someone who's lonely, let's begin with this. They probably find it hard to reach out. I mean, they have this feeling and they're starting to feel like people don't want to be with them, whether it's true or not. And this can affect any age, and people of every age it affects, but for older people, it tends to be more common. And so we thought we would share these 6 ways that can maybe make a big difference if you get this feeling. Maybe you don't have it much, maybe you have it a lot, but whenever it comes up, there's some things you can do. So the first thing is smile. Doesn't that sound simple? I mean, even if it feels hard, every chance you get, you grab a chance to smile at others or begin a conversation. Maybe a cashier at a shop or the person next to you in the doctor's waiting room. I found I've been in waiting rooms for doctor's offices and made friends.
Yeah, but that's gotten worse through COVID and through these last tough years because people have been afraid to connect.
Right, we're being careful, but you can be in a doctor's office with a mask on and talk just fine.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're shy and you don't know what to say, ask someone about themselves. Never fails. People love talking about themselves. That's one of their favorite topics. Whether we know it or not, it's one of our favorite topics. You can always
all you have to do is listen.
Right. Just ask someone about themselves. And when you smile, your eyes light up. And there's a very famous model, Tyra Banks, who talks about smiling with the eye.
Smizing, she calls it.
Right. And, even if you have a mask on, you can be smiling. People see it and they feel it. And then another thing is invite people to your home. When we're feeling lonely, we tend not to do that. But if you're feeling down and alone, it's tempting to think that nobody wants to visit you. But often you're wrong. Friends, family, neighbors, they might appreciate receiving an invitation to come and spend some time with you.
Yeah.
And we had a neighbor whose wife died, and we made a point of going over and spending time with him. He was sort of isolating himself after she died.
Yeah.
And he was so grateful for that. He wouldn't have reached out to us, but he was so grateful for that. So, reach out because people will be grateful for it.
Absolutely.
Keep in touch by phone. Keeping in touch by phone, it's so easy. Call somebody. Maybe somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. They'll be thrilled to hear from you. I called up someone a few months ago, someone I had worked with a few years ago. because I'd seen something on social media that he'd done. He was so happy to hear from me. I mean, I didn't even know if he would remember me, you know. He
Yeah.
was so happy to hear from me. So, you know, just make up the point is, if you're feeling lonely, part of the problem is that you have withdrawn somehow.
Yeah.
So when we reach out, we shift that. The next thing is learn to love computers. Not everybody loves technology. It's very, very important. It can help in so
You're going to get some backlash on that one. That's for sure. I know, especially Asian people are like, computers.
Yeah, I know, but I like to tell a story. My 96-year-old mother-in-law, she wanted a laptop. I took her to the Apple store. She wanted an Apple laptop. I bought it for her. Oh, she bought it. And I taught her how to use it. I showed her. She didn't want to do a lot. She wanted to write her story. I showed her how to use it, and she can use it.
Now
So
did she use Zoom so you can call her
she has actually done she is on the board of this hospital still, and she has done the Zoom meetings with
see,
her.
there you go. There you go. So listeners, old people can do it. You have no excuses. And you can
Right,
see your family and see your grandkids and do all that kind of fun stuff online. Opens up a
right.
whole new world.
Right. Zoom is so great because not only you can connect with people and visually see them, you know, like family or friends, but you can also join in on, there's all kinds of classes that where people chat afterwards, you know,
Yep.
or before. And, you know, I know this exercise class I used to go to at the gym before the pandemic. Well, one of the women took it upon herself to organize this great exercise class that's on Zoom. It's completely free and it's fabulous, you know, and people chat before and after, and it's just a nice connection.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and you may start, okay, if you're really uncomfortable with technology, the first thing you can do is ask a friend for help, or, you know, you could take a class. All the adult education, the community education, they offer classes, or where you purchase a computer, very often they offer classes. I mean, I know Apple does lots of free
Yeah.
classes for people, and you know, and you don't need to be like a hardcore user. You just need to be able to use some basic social media and Zoom, and you'll be connecting with people all over the world. It's worthwhile to take that step.
No doubt.
It's just it's a, a fear of something new that keeps people from having this great resource of
Yeah, or
community.
looking stupid or
Yeah,
failing or not doing it right. When my son was working at Apple, he was a creative, so he spent a big part of his day. The old people would come in and he would teach them iMovie, and he was just as patient as the day is long. He didn't have any time that he had to get away. He would just sit down with them, and Apple has an amazing way of actually teaching them how to teach other people. They don't let the creative touch the keyboard.
mhm.
They have to get really good at talking the person into being able to understand what questions to ask, what to look for on the keyboard. How
Yes.
they want them to think like computers, like what's going on here. And it's an amazing training. That's why Apple is so partly damn popular, is they have that kind of ability. So if you're a creative and you want to learn a drawing skill, or you want to do something like that on a computer, go to the Apple store and you will get training. And
Yeah,
your community colleges will do that too.
right. But the Apple Store is even easier because
Yeah.
they're trained to help anybody. And
Yeah.
you know, if you have an iPhone, you don't even have to use your computer. You could do it all on a phone.
True. That's a
So
little mini
that's
computer right in your palm of your hand.
right. It's right there. So that's, you know, and if, you know, like you said, if I get some feedback on this, we'll go over it some more, how to make that, how to make that easier to do. You know.
Yeah. And you got to have kids and grandkids and, people around you that would be willing to help you.
Yeah,
Pick a high school kid. They're so good at it,
yeah, they'll be so happy to help. People
Right.
love helping others get more comfortable with technology.
Right. Yeah. It opens up a whole new world when you can get online and meet with people from
Yeah,
think about this, listeners, from all over the world. I mean, based on the time zones, you could be talking to people in Australia, and it's 8 in the morning for them and 9 at night for you, whatever that 8-hour difference is. It's so much fun to be able to connect with people around the world. We didn't used to be able to do that. It's
Yeah, I
great.
mean, it's so fabulous. It really is
Right.
amazing. It
Yep.
doesn't limit you. You can have a best friend in another part of the world.
Yep. Absolutely.
So the next thing is to get out and about a little bit. And, there's so many opportunities. Senior travel is always discounted. I mean, there's always great discounts for bus fares, for going somewhere, AARP, the AAA, they all have great discounts, but you don't have to go far. You just take a walk somewhere and you'll meet people walking, and walk to a beach, a coffee shop, someplace, where you would interact with some people.
Yep.
It makes a difference. It's very
Absolutely.
simple thing. Just take a walk.
Go to a farmer's market if it's warm out, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's fun.
Farmers market is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Buy
Any
your
place like
food.
that. Yeah, you'll be around people. And I've saved the biggest and the best for last. And that is help others. There's
Um,
nothing that gets you out of a funk, a depression, or being lonely than helping others.
Karma yoga.
When we're in those places, we're kind of self-absorbed. But when we help others, we get into the selfless mode, and that changes us right away. I
Yep.
mean, I remember one time I had a friend who had a horrible situation. She was going through a divorce. Her son got into a motorcycle accident. All these things were happening, and she was bereft. And then her mother called. I mean, she couldn't get out of the funk. And her mother called and needed help. And she dropped everything, went to help her mother. And guess what?
Yep.
All of a sudden, she felt fine.
She,
You know? Oh,
yes, everything you're saying literally raises your vibration. That's what it's all about.
yep. And helping a neighbor, it can be something simple. You can help a neighbor, a friend, volunteer at a nonprofit. That's a great thing to do because you'll be doing this service and
Yep.
helping others, and you'll meet people. You'll meet other people who are doing the same thing, which is
Yep.
awesome. Which
Yep.
is awesome. I mean, there's nothing like it. And even places like the National Institute of Health, the science will tell you, volunteer, help others. That's the best way to overcome loneliness or depression. It
Yep.
just it
It-
flips a switch for you. Uh, and you have lots to offer. I mean, you've been around for a while. You have knowledge, you have experience, you've gained over a lifetime.
Yep.
Time to give back, and also you will learn new skills and get new confidence. And there are just so many volunteering opportunities that relish the qualities and skills of older people. I mean, patience, experience, calmness, all of that. And there are so many volunteer organizations that need this help. I mean, just think about what you may be interested in. Maybe it's an animal shelter, or maybe
Yeah.
it's a food bank, or maybe it's some spiritual organization. Who knows? But just by doing that, you're going to make a huge inner shift. Your whole mode shifts from self preoccupation to selfless service, and it just opens the door. It opens your heart, and you will find you're meeting new people, and lots of new things will happen. And if you can't do any of the things I mentioned, do that one.
Yep.
Do that one because it will turn the tide and change your life.
Right. And any of the meditations that we've taught on opening the heart will start that process rolling. The energy will start to move out and you'll start to attract
You
those
bet.
kinds of opportunities will come to you.
Mhm.
Somebody who owns a horse farm will say, God, I've been looking for somebody to volunteer and you've always wanted to work with horses,
Yeah.
or they do equine therapy and you're like, oh my God, I've always wanted to learn how to do that. Help people heal with horses. That's awesome. I want to do that. When you open your heart, you open yourself to the magic coming back into your life. So don't underestimate that. That's how powerful meditation is.
It's really powerful. It's really powerful. And you open your heart and then boom. And even if you think you can't meditate, you can help others. And if you help others, meditation gets easy
Yep.
because it just calms the mind.
It does.
So we hope these things are helpful to you. We threw out a bunch of them because not one same thing works for everyone. So try them out. See if it makes a difference.
Absolutely.
If you're ever feeling lonely or in any kind of a funk, try these, especially that last one I mentioned, helping others. You'll see
Go
it.
walk on the beach if you can.
Yeah, walk barefoot on the beach.
Oh
That's
my gosh, I saw the beach yesterday and I was like, why don't I do this every day? It's so weird. I live here in California. I could be at the beach every day, but it was just, it's so calming. It's so beautiful and just so centering. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the
there's
people that
nothing
live
like
here are so
that.
lucky.
We're so lucky, and just and walking barefoot on the sand is really awesome if you can. It's
Really healthy for you.
very,
Yeah,
very
that's
healthy.
that's good for your physical body and your emotional well-being.
Sure is.
All right.
So we hope this is all very helpful to you. Let us know, and we'd love to hear from you.
Take care, everyone. See you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.